A newly proposed program in Pima County would eventually help thousands of children attend quality preschools. It's backed by the people behind a failed ballot initiative in 2016 that would have created a similar program in the city of Tucson. The Pima County Preschool Investment Program would offer scholarships for all 3- and 4-year-olds whose family fall under 200% of the federal poverty level. For example, a family of 4 earning less than $50,000 a year would qualify. Supporters say once it's fully funded, the program would serve more than 10,000 children. But to start, they're asking the Pima County Board of Supervisors to set aside $5 million in its budget for the upcoming fiscal year. We learned more about the program from Steve Lynn with the Southern Arizona Leadership Council and Penelope Jacks with Strong Start Tucson. Tell me how Pima County manages this. I mean, it's going to come at a cost. What does it exactly look like? How does it work?
Well, what we're asking the county to do is to initiate for the first time an expansion, if you will, of the First Things First, Quality First program. First Things First, as you may know, is a state agency, and it has tobacco tax money, and they're already providing scholarships for quality early childhood education. This would increase that program by providing more scholarship dollars from the county rather than the tobacco tax. And we would use the same criteria for eligibility. We would put them in the same kinds of programs that are already serving the children from First Things First. And they've done their own evaluations to tell us for certain that this program works. So we know it's a good investment for the people of Pima County and for the children of Pima County.
I'd just like to circle back a moment. There are about 27,000 3- and 4-year-olds in Pima County. Half of those kids live under 200% of the poverty level. So it really makes a big dent if we could reach all of those children. Of that half, 70% are children of color. So we know that it's children who are at risk who benefit most from high quality preschool.
You've said high quality. Now, is there such a thing as just poor quality? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. That Arizona has a very good rating system. It's 0 to 5 stars, and high quality is thought to be 3 to 5 stars, or national accreditation, or Head Start also counts. But it's very clear, and Arizona does a very good job in that area.
So how do we afford all this as a county? We come together as taxpayers. What does this look like?
Well, out of the existing county budget, which is over $1 billion, we're asking the county to start with a very modest amount that would work for a couple of hundred of these children to start with. And we want to prove that this can happen at scale. So it means that if we're successful, we can go back to the county for multiple year funding and increases in funding. Because as Penelope said, with the percentage of children who are in poverty in Pima County, if we don't attack this problem soon, what we will have is a next generation and a next generation of children who will not be successful in school. Therefore, they will not be able to get good jobs. Therefore, they will be a burden to taxpayers rather than contributory to our society. That's what we're looking for long term, is that kind of success.
And there's great evidence that says for every dollar you spend on high quality preschool, the community reaps up to $16 over time. So the return on investment is very high, better than any blue chip stock that anyone invests in.
So are you saying that prior to this, for the families that haven't been able to afford early childhood education programs, this is what we're seeing right now unravel in our economy? I mean, could it have been better? Could what we see right now be different?
Well, First Things First has made a dent. There's no question about it. But as everyone knows, the tobacco tax is a diminishing resource as fewer and fewer people smoke. And so the amount of money that First Things First has been able to put into scholarships has either been constant in some areas or diminished in other areas. We also know there's other federal funding that just recently has been cut off. And so a number of children who have been in quality settings may not be able to afford it now because the subsidy from the federal government has been reduced and eliminated.
One stat that I read said that nearly half of all kids by the time they get into kindergarten are not ready. What's at stake if this fails yet again?
Well, what's at stake is that we say to another cohort of children, not you. you aren't the ones who are going to succeed in school, and you aren't the ones who have the best chance to succeed in life. What's at stake is a whole group of children. Every year, it's another thousands and thousands of kids. We say, not you.
When we think about early childhood education, obviously cost is a factor, but are we putting enough responsibility on the families to say, you need to do your part? I mean, we can't just send your child to school during the day. There's a component of the family that needs to occur after hours.
You know, it's a great point, but with the families that we're talking about, there are two elements to those families, many of whom are working multiple jobs just to keep food on the table and a roof over their heads. They need both health care and child care in order to be able to maintain their employment. And so the target population that we're talking about would benefit greatly if someone were able to say to them, your child can go not just to any center, but a center where they're going to be prepared for kindergarten and for school beyond that. And all you need to do is continue working hard like you've been doing to provide other things for your family. But this is one of those things that would be provided that would be great relief to the families that we're talking about. When we get to 3 and 4-year-olds, we want them to come to school ready to succeed. And if you talk to kindergarten teachers, they can tell you within a week which of their children have had quality preschool and which ones haven't.
We're short on time, but I do want to ask you, if this goes through, this changes the quality of life here in this region, it improves it? Both of you agree to that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's almost nothing a community can do for itself better than investing in its young children.
Okay. My thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.